Breaking the gray.
Boom. That's right. Bonus content. Everyone loves bonus content. That's why we got Sarah to give you her quick hacks, on-the-go content just for you about specific things that we know are going to help you along the way. Take a listen. Here we go. Sarah,
Russ,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's been some time. I'm great. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you. It's been a while. Not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot has changed, but let's not timestamp this. Let's get into this. So, we're going to go through what we discussed earlier around the light within your food. So we're calling it light lunch. Yes. I'm coming at this from a completely novice perspective, except for what you've taught me during these last episodes. Let's jump into it. I want to learn everything I can about the power of light within your food.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about this concept of light contained within food. So that's what we mean by light lunch here.
Okay.
So we're talking actually about biophotonic emission, which is a rather just fancy way of saying light is actually emitted from the food that you eat. And that light is then picked up by your body, and then your body acts appropriately.
How does it do that? What is? I mean, if you put me in the dark, would I glow in the dark? Is if I eat certain foods?
Yeah, you certainly would. You certainly would glow in the dark. So this is the concept of biophotonic emission. Okay. And this is something that was discovered most famously by a chap called Fritz-Albert Popp, who I was fortunate to go and spend some time in his labs in Germany. And he started off looking at cucumber seedlings, and he put them in a very, very dark cupboard, and he had a very sensitive light detector. And he found that actually they did emit light, very, very low levels of light, but light nonetheless. And then he kind of went up and looked at all kinds of plants and animals and even people. And yes, we do emit light from our bodies, very small amounts. And biophoton just means biology from the body, and photons as in the very small particles of light, like the smallest particle of light is a photon.
Okay. Now, are there certain foods that don't emit light? Like, do root-based foods not capture as much light because they're underground?
Well, this is the very interesting thing about biophotons is things which have a lot of vitality seem to emit a lot of light. And also the light that the plant has grown under, that's kind of programmed into the plant. So plants that have grown in very sunny conditions, they retain some of that information about the conditions in which they were grown. And so that's why, when we talk about eating seasonally, this is one of the reasons why that is so important, because your body gets information from its environment, from the plants and the animals that you eat that are in that environment with you. So if you are eating something, I'm sitting here in England, if I'm then eating a pineapple that was grown in Costa Rica, I'm telling my body that it's a tropical climate out there and, we should prepare ourselves, and the body starts to do things that will enable me to function the best in that environment, which of course I'm not in. So you have
your body's searching your closet for a pair of flip-flops.
That's right. And if you always wondered why you're kind of walking around in your bikini, that's why. But really, what it means is that you don't really want to keep giving your body these mixed messages, these kind of mixed signals. Like, from one side, you're in one environment, and then your food is telling you that you're in a different environment. So that's one thing. And the other thing is processed food tends to lose a lot of this information, this light information, which is another reason why not to eat processed foods. Refined foods also lose this light.
What are the great emitters of light? What are the foods that are emitting the most light that reconnect you quickly to where you are, connect you quickly to where you are?
Seasonal fruit and vegetables, of course, they're going to be the things that emit the light, and, even animal products emit light. There are also foods that help you to respond to this light. So fish, for example, and seafood contains a lot of DHA, which is an omega-3 fatty acid, but it's a molecule that then forms part of your cell membranes. And it's within your cell membranes that you receive this light, and this light is transmitted around the body. So you'll eat the food, say you eat this nice pineapple, and then your gut cells are lined with special cells that receive the light, and within the cell membrane is that DHA that you've got from eating all the good seafood. And then that signal is then transmitted back to your brain through your vagus nerves and through the interaction with your mitochondria and your bacteria. So what you need is good fresh food and the fish and the bacteria.
Okay, so good fresh food. I get down to your local farmer's market, probably the best place to go. What about mushrooms? We talked about mushrooms. Are they a good source of light?
Yes.
Okay, because they're natural. They're from the ground. Now let's talk about diets and dieting. And are there special things that you can do to maybe reset your body to sort of become more receptive to this?
Dieting, as in losing weight, you mean?
Or just changing cycles, intermittent fasting, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there are a lot of things. I mean, it's interesting from a weight loss point of view because your body will also respond to an environment. If your body thinks it's coming into a stressful environment, then it may think it's a good idea to kind of pile on the pounds to prepare for that environment.
I definitely bulk up when I get stressed. So I'm in major stress mode right now, as you can tell from the size of my head.
I don't think so. So really what you want to do to maintain a homeostasis in your body, which is going to be good for just stabilizing body weight and for health, is to give your body the right information. So eat lots of seafood, eat lots of fresh vegetables, like you say, mushrooms, if you can have healthy mushrooms, eat animal foods if you're into that, if possible, wild foods, wild raised animals, fish from seas, not so much farm food if you can. Drink good water, spring water if you can. All of these things are going to help you to maintain your cycles, maintain that yoking to where you are in your environment. And intermittent fasting, that helps as well for your body to receive that information.
And because it goes back to what you've mentioned before around circadian rhythms of getting your body back on a rhythm, and that light obviously is helping the circadian rhythms within your body to connect to time-based things, location-based things. Okay, yes. I'm learning this. I'm learning as we go here.
Yes, you're very.
I'm a grand pupil here.
You'll be on the other side of the podcast.
Let's talk quickly as we finish up here. Water. What about water and light? Now, I imagine that people are drinking bottled water, microplastics. Are there water types? I mean, I'm being sold water all the time with all the different marketing on it. What's the difference in waters?
Well, there is a lot of difference in waters. We had a really interesting chat before, didn't we, about structured water and information in water and how water actually can carry a lot of information. Yeah. So that's one thing. Also, light changes the structure of water. So you need to think about where your water's been and what it's been up against, and a good way that you can charge your water, a lot of people say, is to put it out in the light. So that's a cool thing to do. Something that we haven't got time to touch on right now because we're doing our little short bites is deuterium depleted water, because water is H2O, but the H is hydrogen, and hydrogen also has an isotope, which is deuterium.
Okay.
So maybe at another time we'll talk a little bit about how sometimes deuterium can become incorporated into water and you have this heavy water. But if we're going to cut that very long story very short, there is less deuterium, this kind of isotope, in spring water and in fresh unprocessed fruits and vegetables. So to avoid getting too much of this heavy water, you want to, like I say, good spring water, filter your tap water. and maybe even charge it out in the sun.
Okay. All right. So we'll sun tea our water. So we'll sun our water. This is great. So let's recap about our light lunch. Eat locally. Eat fresh fruits. Your shellfish. Resetting your cycle, making sure you're helping the cycle. What else am I missing here? What are the great points? Some great points today.
I think that's the main point. I think the point is to think about the light as it comes into your body. So the first thing you need to do is make sure you're giving the body the right information. So as much as possible, unprocessed food that is grown in the environment that you're in. And then think about your body and how your body can receive the light. If you've got a lot of omega-3s in all of your cell membranes, then you're in a much better place. And the way to do that easily is shellfish and fresh seafood. So that's the next stage. And then after that is have good, clean spring water, so that you're hydrated and your proteins and everything else in your body are able to function. And I think that's basically a good little tip for how to have the best light lunch. And
always start your day with sunrise, end your day with sunset, balance it in the middle with your light lunch.
Yeah, exactly, Russ.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Russ. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
The Rebel Scientist Podcast is a Breaking the Gray production, created by Russ Eisenman and Paul Wood, hosted by Sarah Turner, music and sound editing by Logan Shea. For more information and other fantastic podcasts, visit breakingthegray.com. That's gray with an E, breakingthegray.com.
Breaking the gray.